Portmeirion, a small enchanted village hidden away in North Wales. The brainchild of this man, Bertram Clough Williams-Ellis. Himself an architect, he acquired the site in 1925 for something less than £5,000. And the rest, as they say, is history. As you approach the village, you are first met by what appears to be a bus stop, left behind in the 1960s. A little further brings you to the main entrance to the village, which, even today, is guarded by a lion. Within the entrance, you are greeted by a mermaid. This is no ordinary mermaid. She is Valsinia, the mermaid of life, and has watched over the village for almost a century. Also at the entrance, standing guard, is a statue of the huntsman, erected many years ago to stave off any insidious attacks of goblins or trolls to this enchanted village. Walking down the road, we find ourselves passing through a crest-adorned archway. This is the gatehouse, and was the first building that Bertram Clough Williams-Ellis had built. It was erected between 1954 and 1955, shortly after the building restrictions were lifted following the war. Once through the gatehouse, the sea appeared to view. Here also was a small garden, where a splendid magnolia watched as people came and went. Beyond the eyes of the magnolia, there was another archway. This led to a small square within the village. The first building in the square is the toll house. Here we can see a distinctive black sheep depicting the use of the building as a wool shop. There are many things to see within the square, including the bell tower, the dome, and this very famous doorway. In this house lived a prisoner. He was known only by a number, the number 6. Behind the holding house of the prisoner, there is a much better view of the tower. A small tree adorns a small garden. A minor gorgon keeps watch, and a cannon is ready to do battle with any unwanted or unwelcome visitors who did not pay and display properly in the car park before entering. The cannon is of course located in the garden of the watch house, with a spectacular view over the sea. Heading back towards and through the square, we cannot help but come face to face with this. A Buddha. Strangely salvaged from a film set, he now lives quietly in Portmeirion. The unlikely next-door neighbour of the Buddha is a small Cupid-type fellow hiding within the rock. Our researchers found this very old piece of footage of the Portmeirion garden. This is how the garden looks today. This white figure is Charity, a wooden statue of the late 17th or 18th century, and was brought in to adorn and decorate the Piazza. Acquired in 1960, Hercules, who does have a great weight on his shoulders, was also brought in to adorn the garden. Passing through the garden, we come to the triumphal arch. By the arch is a large stone vase with a seat for weary travellers to take a moment's rest. This roadway takes us past the Archer's Cafe and also a rather splendid restaurant. Both of these buildings are constantly watched over by this strange fellow. As the road descends down to the sea, we find another 1960s bus stop. Once at the seafront, we find a small yacht docked in the harbour. The harbour also contains a hidden catacomb, used for smuggling fine brandy. With government taxes as high as they are, there is still a buoyant market for this kind of smuggling. Today, however, the tide is out, and smuggling will have to wait. Along the coastal path is a small tower. This tower watches out to sea and is guarded night and day by this fellow. You know him as Nelson. Walking the opposite way along the coastal path brings you to this shell bunker. It is known as the shell bunker as it is made of thousands of shells. It is also home to the famous dolphin fountain from which the seafaring elves took their water. Portmeirion also enjoys the company of a decent-sized woodland. Hidden within the woodland are many enchanted areas, such as this play area. This enchanted and magical woodland teleport system, this gazebo, this strange something, these fish, and this local resident. Hidden away in the heart of this enchanted woodland is a final resting place for family pets. The peace and tranquility here is never broken, protected by trees and guarded night and day by the wood elves of Portmeirion. Deeper into the woodland, and we find the enchantment still growing. The trees here have been the subject of much Elvish magic, which you can feel brushing through you as you pass by. After taking a stroll through the village woodland, there is still time to have a nice sit down with a cup of tea and slice of cake. Portmeirion. Until next time.